Hey guys, Cassie Deputy at deputytribe.com. As you can see, I'm not wearing my glasses because the glare drives me nuts when I record videos, especially on my iPad because the whole screen glares at my glasses. And if I use my husband's thing that he uses to record his politics videos, then you can see the reflection of the ring because it's like a ring light. And I don't know, it just drives me nuts. Let me know in the comments below if it drives you nuts to see the reflection of my glasses or not. But today I just wanted to drop in here, and I've been preparing to go to a homeschool conference with my husband. I'm really excited. Him and I don't typically get a lot of time away alone just because of all the things that we have going on, and we have soon to be 8 children, and finding sitters and trying to get away, and then all the work and ministry stuff and political stuff that my husband's involved in. It's just not something we regularly do. We do, however, have a regular date night, and my husband's very good at that. We set aside money every month, and about once a week or once every other week, we go out on a date, and that's really nice. So I really enjoy that he has always prioritized that, our whole marriage. So that's really great. But we're preparing to leave. And I wanted to share because my kids have a lot of food allergies. So it's a little bit intimidating for people to watch my kids because they don't know what they can and can't eat. And so it's a lot of work for me to try to prepare meals ahead of time for them to eat. But I always do that. I absolutely always pack food and have food for my kids. One goal that we had as parents was that we would never be a burden on people. So we want our family and our children to be a blessing and not a burden. So there's a lot of things we've implemented to reach that goal. And it can seem kind of intimidating when you invite us over and 2 adults and 7, 8 kids show up, and you think, oh my gosh, I can't feed all these people. They're going to leave my house a mess, all this stuff. And we really, really, really strive, or they're going to be loud, they're going to be crazy. We really strive to be a blessing and not a burden. And we have ingrained that into our children. And even with all of our food allergies and just different choices that we've made in how we eat, we don't want that to be a burden on people either. So we either bring our own food and bless others with food, we leave leftovers, we, go above and beyond. So I'm preparing for 6 of my kids to stay at my mom's house, and one of my kids, my baby, to stay with a friend, a little sister of mine, so to speak. And so I'm preparing for that. Now, everything I do, because we're such a large family, doesn't necessarily involve a lot of work, but it does involve a lot of planning. And if the more planning you do, the less work you have to do. So let me explain. I put together a whole menu. We're going to be gone roughly 4 days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days. 3 days. But I'm providing enough food for 4 or 5 days. But so basically, last week, so we leave this week, Thursday, in a couple days here. Last week, I took a day. I bought at Mike's Discounted Foods, I bought this box of bananas, right? And they're green, and of course, they all go ripe at the exact same time. So I had just a ridiculous amount of ripening bananas. So I mashed them all up, and I made 2 batches of paleo banana bread muffins, 2 batches of gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free banana bread muffins for those who can't do eggs in my family. And then I made 2 batches of regular, just wheat and sugar banana bread to share and bring to an event that we went to. So I made all of that. We froze half of it, and the other half we ate for Sunday morning church, which worked out brilliantly because my husband worked till 3 in the morning. And so we got up at 8 and left the house for church at 8:45. Incredible, I know, but praise the Lord that I had all that banana bread. I also I actually had my daughter make a batch of allergen-free peanut butter cookies. So we ate half of those and we froze the other half. So you see, you do things in large batches, and then when you know you're going out of town, you freeze them. So now I got a bunch of banana bread and cookies and stuff frozen. The other thing that I've been doing is making some meals extra big the last week, and then freezing portions of it for my baby who's going to be staying with somebody separate from my big kids. So she has currently 3 or 4 meals in the freezer frozen already. So I'll just send all those meals with the babysitter, and all the babysitter has to do is heat them up and she's ready to eat. So less work and the same result. Now for my bigs, I am running to the store tomorrow, but when they're staying with sitters, I do kind of loosen things a little bit. So my oldest kids are on pretty strict Whole30 because of their, they just have a lot of health issues. And so over the weekend, they are going to be allowed to eat rice. So I'm getting rice noodles and regular rice. So they're going to do pasta because I can just send them with ground beef, tomato sauce, and noodles and broccoli. So my mom can whip up pasta. They'll do a roast with potatoes and carrots one night, which she can just throw in the crock pot. And then they'll do chicken, rice, and broccoli the other night, which is pretty easy to make. And then I didn't get them gluten-free, like allergen-free bread. Actually, I scored and somebody donated an entire bag of gluten-free bread to the food shelf downstairs. And it's a perishable, and we don't have refrigeration for the food shelf, so it had to go. So I took them all, and that's a huge blessing. Mike's Discounted Food had like organic, super clean turkey, like whole turkeys that were already cooked. So we used the coffee house meat slicer and sliced them all up. So they'll have turkey sandwiches, vegetables, all sorts of stuff. So I go to Mike's and I get like ranch and peanut butter and all this great stuff that we wouldn't normally be able to afford. So the planning part. So I wrote out a whole menu. I wrote out all the different ideas I had for snacks, meals, and slowly just prayed stuff in. And literally organic pasta sauce showed up. Some gluten-free noodles showed up. A bunch of like gluten-free vegan macaroni and cheese showed up, which I would never, ever buy. But it is a special weekend with my mom. So I was like, all right, you guys can eat gluten-free vegan mac and cheese. That's just processed out the wazoo, but it's only a weekend and it should be enjoyable. So I hope that gives you some tips and some tricks. A little bit of leeway, but because of the allergies, we can't not, have that hopefully soon with the treatments and stuff we're pursuing. But yeah, and then I'm just picking up a bunch of fruit, some Lar-bars, peanut butter, bananas, apples, grapes. My kids eat quite a bit, and that intimidates people too. So I'm sending my mom with gluten-free oatmeal, bacon, eggs. I mean, for the ones that can eat eggs, just enough food so they can just be eating and have plenty left over. So that's what you do. You plan, bake in large batches, and freeze so you're not scrambling the day before to just make food. But plan. I mean, it's definitely worth planning because it's so low stress. Like, my mom keeps asking me, are you stressed, trying to prep all this stuff? And I'm like, no, Mom, it's like, I've already had the plan in place a week ago. I've already prayed almost everything in. The Lord's provided a lot of it, so I don't even have to really purchase a lot of stuff. And it all came together, and the Lord knew what they needed. And so that's kind of how I plan for that. And then my husband and I are going to enjoy a wonderful weekend alone at a conference, getting built up and encouraged for homeschooling. So we're really excited about that. And that's it. Maybe we'll pop on camera at the conference and talk to you guys a little bit about some things that the Lord's showing us. But that is all.